What did you think about the Islam vacating the belt and going up and immediately getting a shot at the welterweight bout? And what do you think about that? And how different is that fight going to play out than what we saw versus Bilal?
That's going to be a great fight. Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's big. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know. I think he was a little okay. If you're going up, we gotta. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. And I like him moving up. Proving himself. He's number one.
I think Islam Makhachev has done enough. He's beat Volk twice. He's beat pretty much everybody in the lightweight division. Charles Oliveira. He hasn't fought Justin Gaethje. I think it's time for him to have the opportunity to become a double champ. And I like this fight a lot. I like it a lot because, they both move good on the feet. They both move a lot. Body kicks. You can definitely see Islam go for a double leg takedown, uses judo, his wrestling. And how would Jack Della respond? Jack Della's crisp on the feet as well with his hands, his straight punches. They're both big 170ers. And I'm excited.
Hey, Islam, we'll give you this fight, but you have to vacate.
I don't hate the idea. Here's where my confusion comes in is how come these things aren't clearer? For example, if you ask Islam if you were stripped, Islam will say no. If you ask the UFC was this stripped, the UFC will say yes. I'm just not sure why these terms aren't clearer. If Islam's goal was to go up to 170 so he could obtain champ status, but they take the 55-pound title away, they also take that opportunity to become champ away. But hear me out on this, because they did the same thing to Ilia Topuria, and Ilia is claiming that he wasn't stripped. In fact, not only is Ilia claiming he wasn't stripped, it was as recently as last week on the Errol Hawani program, they swore up and down that Ilia was promised a title shot whether it involved Islam or not.
Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena is exactly the kind of matchup that electrifies the MMA world. This is a collision of champions from different divisions, each bringing their own arsenal of strengths, unique styles, and calculated risks. Makhachev, the reigning pound-for-pound king, is on a mission to etch his name in history by capturing a second UFC belt. But standing in his way is Jack Della Maddalena, a fighter with explosive striking and razor-sharp takedown defense. Make no mistake, this isn't a mismatch. This is a true 50-50 fight where either man could walk away with gold.
So now you're the champion.
Yep.
The next step is defending it. They always say, winning it's one thing, defending it is the next.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I feel like this is just the beginning, It's a lot of work's been done, but this is the real work is now.
And so Islam Makhachev is the name that everyone's talking about. He's come up to welterweight, vacated his title. It's basically Dana's confirmed that he's your next challenger.
Yep.
So at least you've got that. When and where is still to be decided.
Yep.
How do you now prepare for that?
I mean, it's just I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. I think his striking on the feet is I think it's more. I even think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound number one, so it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all these fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on
Jack, and naturally, not like he's not cutting weight type of vibes. I know Islam will have to cut.
All right, now he's proven himself at 155, and then potentially after Jack, now it makes more sense to have this super fight with Ilia Topuria now that he's proven himself at 155.
Of course, yeah, of course. That would make everybody happy, if something like that were to happen and the UFC gods make those decisions and everybody accepts. That would be the ideal situation, And again, like I said, these are actual facts of what could happen and are going to be discussed. I know that what we're talking about are discussions to be made. What will happen, we don't know, but we're pretty close. I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, it's very obvious. Anybody that's a real fan and follows the sport knows that
this is the actual scenarios that
Michael Bisping isn't just tossing out bold predictions or getting swept up in hype. With his years in the sport, Bisping knows how to recognize a legitimate threat, and to him, Jack Della Maddalena is exactly that. He's watched Islam run through his opponents, but Bisping also understands that moving up a weight class is a monumental leap. The power, the size, the danger, it's all amplified. You're not just fighting bigger versions of the same guys. You're entering a new realm where every shot lands with more force, and every mistake is punished harder. Bisping was especially struck by Jack's performance against Belal Muhammad, a fighter renowned for his relentless cardio. While Belal usually overwhelms his opponents with pressure, Jack did more than just survive. He excelled. He stuffed takedowns, landed crisp shots, and at times made Belal look like he was fighting in slow motion. What Bisping admired most was Jack's composure. He stayed cool, listened to his corner, and peppered Belal with precise, calculated punches. There was no wild brawling, just sharp, technical striking and a high fight IQ. Bisping respects how Jack has evolved from a pure brawler into a dangerous, intelligent competitor with excellent takedown defense.
Another day. So Islam has vacated the belt. He's going to take on Jack Della Maddalena. Now, when he was going to fight Belal, you probably saw Dana say, if he was to fight Belal, he would have been a big favorite.
Moving up to fight Jack, the odds makers have this fight at even.
And I'm not surprised, because when you see Jack, what he did to Belal, the way that he pieced him up, the way that he stopped the takedowns, the way that he did get back to his feet when he was taken down, did it very, very technically, the way he was pinging him, right, like his corner was asking for.
5 minutes to realize all your dreams. Let's go. Safety first, stay focused, keep pinging the
He was pinging his head off. I'm not going to say see you next Tuesday work, because YouTube will have a fit, okay?
That's fucking illegal.
But I love the work from the cornerman, and I love the boxing from Jack. And
Bisping also recognizes the risk in Islam's move to 170 pounds. Sure, Islam is a phenomenal fighter, but moving up isn't just about skills. It's about whether your body and style can handle the added size and power. Bisping's own career taught him that the jump in weight can change everything. Islam's dominance at lightweight is unquestioned, but Jack presents a new kind of threat. That's why Bisping isn't calling this a sure win for Islam. To him, this is a true test, a fight where either man could emerge victorious. Islam may be chasing greatness, but Jack is ready to crash the party, and Bisping is eager to see how it unfolds.
I love the takedown defense. And by the way, Belal Muhammad, best cardio in all of mixed martial arts. Jack Della Maddalena pushed him to the absolute limit. What I'm saying here is that this isn't a given for Islam Makhachev. This is a real fight, a real test. You want to move up a weight class? You want to test the waters up there? You're going to go straight in at the deep end and take on the champion? Massive opportunity. Become a 2-weight division champion. Join the likes of Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, George St. Pierre, Henry Cejudo. There's a few others. Maybe there is, there isn't. Let me know in the comment section who I'm forgetting. But he wants to do that, and that's his right. And fair play to him. And we're all excited for that. But it's not guaranteed that he wins that fight. And what happens then? Does he come back down to one?
While Bisping sees Jack as a real danger, Joe Rogan's perspective is unwavering. Islam Makhachev is the one to beat. Rogan has long championed Islam's abilities, and his confidence is clear. He expects Islam to win. In Rogan's eyes, Islam isn't just a champion. He's the division's boogeyman, the guy who steamrolls elite fighters like Oliveira and Dan Hooker with ease. Joe's praise isn't handed out lightly. He's been cage side for most of Islam's fights, and when he calls someone the pound-for-pound best, it carries weight. Rogan talks about Islam's machine-like training, his relentless grind, and how he always peaks at the right moment. That level of dedication is rare. It's what separates champions from legends. Rogan has seen many fighters fold under the spotlight, but Islam thrives on pressure, pushing his limits every time.
Watching Islam and Charles Oliveira, that was what a fight that was. Islam Makhachev must have the most incredible squeeze. His squeeze must be out of this world, because you see how quick Charles tapped once he clamped that on him. I mean, poof.
He had all the points covered, and he just like,
yeah,
done.
That dude is on another level. I mean, he is the truth. I was always impressed with him. But, I mean, I was saying, leading up to him getting a shot at the world title, he's the boogeyman of that division. He was the guy that everybody was saying, like, is the most dominant of all the contenders. And then when he tapped Dober, that was a big one. When he tapped Dan Hooker, that was a big one too. It's like the way he's tapping these guys who are these world-class fighters, and he's just fucking running through them.
For Rogan, Islam is more than just another skilled fighter. He's the real deal. That's why when the cage door shuts, Joe is confident Islam will handle Jack Della Maddalena. It's not just belief, it's what he's witnessed repeatedly. A champion who's simply a level above the rest. In Rogan's mind, Islam is a problem for anyone, and Jack is just the next challenger.
That dude is on another level. I mean, he is the truth. I was always impressed with him. But, I mean, I was saying leading up to him getting a shot at the world title, he's the boogeyman of that division. He was the guy that everybody was saying, like, is the most dominant of all the contenders. And then when he tapped Dober, that was a big one. When he tapped Dan Hooker, that was a big one too. It's like the way he's tapping these guys who are these world-class fighters, and he's just fucking running through them.
Building on Rogan's confidence, Javier Mendez, Islam's coach, brings a measured, realistic outlook. Mendez isn't predicting a quick finish or a lopsided contest. Instead, he's bracing for a grueling 5-round war. His philosophy is simple: never assume an easy win, because one lapse in focus can change everything.
I just know Islam wants this one. So for me, that's the challenge I want, you know, and it's the challenge that I know Islam's going to be, you know, supreme over, because I just know his skill set. I know what he brings to the table, and he brings an incredible work ethic along with skill set in every area. So, you know, Islam is a whole different animal than the Jack's ever been involved with. So if that fight does materialize, you know, we're going to see a hell of a fight, and you're going to see Islam perform at an absolute incredible level.
Mendez explains that expecting early dominance or a fast finish is dangerous. If things don't go as planned, losing focus for even a second can be disastrous. He stays fully engaged, watching every moment, ready to adapt as the fight unfolds. This means Mendez is preparing Islam for a tough, competitive battle that could go the distance. Both fighters will bring their best, and anything can happen. For Mendez, it's not about expecting a walkover, but about being ready to grind through every round, no matter how the fight plays out. After Mendez's focus on a 5-round battle, Daniel Cormier raises crucial questions about Islam's move to welterweight. Cormier points out that we've never seen Islam compete at 170 pounds. He's always been a force at lightweight, but now he's facing a new set of physical challenges against bigger, stronger opponents like Jack. Cormier wonders if Islam's natural size will stack up against Jack, who carries more weight and power. Even though Islam is a big lightweight, Cormier questions if he's as imposing as Jack at welterweight. There's also the issue of managing the weight change. Was Islam able to add the right kind of mass in time? Gaining size too quickly or improperly can impact speed, stamina, and strength. These are real concerns because moving up a division changes everything: movement, power, and defense. Cormier reminds us that it's not just about skill. Physical adaptation is a huge part of the equation. This fight is a true test of whether Islam can handle a naturally bigger, stronger opponent. For Cormier, the outcome isn't just about who wins, but about how Islam adapts to these new circumstances.
Jack Della Maddalena is a great fight. Della Maddalena surprised me in this fight with Bilal Muhammad. Like, he just showed that he's much better than people gave him credit for. He's so well-rounded, so skilled. Makhachev, though, bigger, will have an ability to not be cutting all the weight. He'll be more full. He'll be more like fresh. I'm interested. I think that it'll come down to the wrestling of Islam versus Jack's takedown defense, and how stingy is he going to be able to be with Islam? Because when Islam can take guys down early, they really struggle. The only time a fight even looks competitive is when they can defend takedowns and he spends large amounts of time on his feet, which he does really well too.
Ilia Topuria isn't shy about sharing his thoughts. He believes Islam's jump in weight isn't just about new challenges in the cage. It's a mental test. Topuria argues that leaving a division before clearing it out leaves unfinished business, which can weigh heavily on a fighter's mind. For Islam, Ilia thinks this move could be about escaping the shark tank at lightweight, where threats still linger. Ilia draws a personal parallel. If he left featherweight before facing the likes of Max Holloway, his legacy would be questioned. That's the kind of doubt he thinks could haunt Islam, especially if critics claim he left 155 to dodge tougher matchups.
María, me gustaría que me dieras una predicción de Islam Makhachev contra Jack Della Maddalena. ¿Crees que pese a subir al welter se va a topar con una categoría demasiado grande para él y que va a perder?
Yo creo que Islam ahora mismo, es que no lo sé, ahora está en un momento que mentalmente yo creo que está roto, porque no creo que te venga de forma positiva el hecho de que sabes en tu interior que has abandonado una división por miedo, porque no hay ninguna otra explicación. Tú imagínate que yo hubiera abandonado peso pluma teniendo a un Max Holloway todavía que vencer en el peso, o a un contendiente que realmente se mereciera que estuviera barriendo a toda la división y que todo el mundo estuviera chillando su nombre. Pues, ¿qué te diría eso de mí? Bueno, pues no sé cómo le va a afectar a nivel mental eso en peso welter, pero no lo sé, la verdad. Ya con su vida lo que...
That mental burden doesn't disappear with a new weight class. Ilya suggests it could manifest in the fight itself. Hesitation, self-doubt, or second-guessing. And with someone as dangerous as Jack Della Maddalena across the cage, there's no room for uncertainty. So what does all this mean for Islam's chances? Will he rise to the occasion, silence the doubters, and prove his skills are just as lethal at 170? Or will the weight jump and the mental baggage of unfinished business catch up with him when the octagon door closes? We want your take. Does Islam have what it takes to conquer this massive challenge? Or is this a gamble that could backfire? Drop your predictions in the comments, and let's get the conversation started. If you're enjoying these breakdowns, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an MMA update. See you in the next one.